on, everybody? It's your man, Astrology Universe, back with another live stream video. Today, I just want to talk about how do you manifest? How do you exactly manifest what you want over time? I haven't done a live stream like this in a little minute, so I'm gonna take my time to get it done. This is how I do my astrology, right? This is gonna be more of an introspective talk too. Okay. Once again, let me pray with them.
Non, pa yon problem.
Okay.
Pa yon problem. Disponible pou mwen chè. Yon te get a di msa di mwen te fi.
Okay.
Yon ben di lò pre, lò sens ou pre, pi
Yeah,
kan virasyon ti jan ba etou.
yeah.
Pou mwen fos tan, on 15 minit.
No, you read there.
Ah, ben ok.
Yeah, okay. Right. Come storage. When it comes towards, right, manifesting in your chart, each and every planet in your chart is going to point towards something different. And those differences that's going to point towards are going to make a huge amount of sense towards what you're supposed to do and why you're supposed to be doing it, right? Because astrology of lessons and taking the lesson, this is going to be more from a tropical. I am learning Vedic right now, but this is going to be more of a tropical talk, right? And kind of a synopsis of what I've been going through and doing in my life up until this point. We're going to be talking about some deep topics, right? About right and wrong and morality and those things of that intent. Having that being said, have you ever been in a situation before where you had to really deal with somebody that you have feelings for, affection for, right? But you know the situation ain't going to be the best for you? Everybody's possibly had that potential partner before that didn't work out. Well, some people do. Some people find that childhood sweetheart and they go strong for 20, 30 years and they have that dream life. I read a client just like that yesterday that had that exact same experience. So it does happen, but that's not the majority of people. That's actually a rare occurrence that will actually play out like that for most people, right? And when it comes towards that as well, too, people need to understand that when it comes towards life and the manner of how you are moving throughout that life, you're going to have different obstacles than the next person. You're going to have different tasks than the next person. You're going to have different strengths compared to the next person. What is going to be easy for you may be hard for someone else. That's what you call a benefit. That's what you call your strengths. The sun, right? Those are going to point to that kind of energy in your life. But those things that you do find difficulty with that are not as easy for you to do or get done, those are what you would call your weaknesses, right? What may be a weakness or a shortcoming for you might be strong for somebody else's life. This is why we as people got to understand we got to help each other out. We got to do things to help each other, do things to encourage each other because the energy is not even. The energy is not even throughout. Certain people are going to have things that they're going to need help with and that you can provide for them. This is why we have jobs, right? You provide a service to somebody else that they can't do for themselves. And the same way you have services too that you get from other people because you can't do yourself. But sometimes people get lost. How you doing, Chloe? Sometimes people get lost in the idea. And if you have any questions, just leave them in chat, and then I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And sometimes people get lost in the idea that, oh, I'm doing worse than this person. You know what I'm saying? Why is my life stuck in this particular way and passion? No, because that's not how the world actually works. It says that everyone is made in God's image, right? Whether you believe in the Bible or not. And that's true. You can see it astrologically. You can see it astrologically in the stars that everybody is a reflection of light. Same way the light shining on my face right now, the same way that the chart is going to manifest for you when you come to your realizations. And the realizations are going to be like this. The realizations are going to be my individual spark, my individual light that is casted from the chart is going to define my life different from somebody else's. But we are both individual beings made up of the same light, the same source that we all come from. We all are connected in that spiritual or higher fashioned way of thinking and being. But on the physical level, when I'm talking to you here or there, I can make the distinguishment between me physically and you physically. Your spiritual body and my spiritual body, my physical body and your physical body. And it's through those distinguishments that people get a sense of an ego, a sense of pride, a sense of character even. Because these things are going to be what define you and define me as being people, individuals, Aries, right? Being the individual that you are and the way that you speak and the way that you come about, you're going to end up forming the world around you and coming to understand yourself as an individual and some things that you are good at, your strengths, your courage, your natural creativity is going to oppose somebody else's. This is why you get into situations in life where you come to realize as you get older, not everybody's going to like you or agree with what you're saying. Because the way you stand, what you believe in, what you represent is going to be your truth to tell. It's going to be your place to be. And somebody else's truth is going to be their truth and their things. And sometimes your truths cannot mend or be the same thing. So you all go your separate ways. It happens in life. Not every friend you meet in elementary school, you're going to carry out to be your best friend when you're an adult. You may not necessarily have a problem with that person, but it comes out to play out that particular way. Your energies, your path in lives diverged at a certain point. What the chart will teach you is this. Everybody that you meet in your life, you were meant to meet. There's not a single person that comes into your existence, that comes into this world, that won't pop up in your chart. I could look at your birth chart, right? And tell you, and you can tell me, why did I meet this person here? Why did this experience happen to me there? Why did I have this child? Why did my father treat me this particular way? Why did this boyfriend treat me like that? I will be able to see it all pop up in your chart just from your birth chart. Just from your birth chart, I could tell you from the day you were born that it was all meant to be happening. The universe had picked you to go through these situations and figure out how to do these certain things. That is how the energy plays out for you to understand. Now, what most people think when they first get into astrology, that is just your sun sign. That if I'm a Leo, I'm only proud and bodacious. If I'm a Taurus, I'm only stubborn. If I'm a Cancer, I'm only emotional. They will all say these, traits and qualities, and they are true to a certain extent. Cancers can be emotional. Leos can be prideful. Tauruses can be stubborn, but that's not all that they are. Because what most people don't understand is this. You have every single last piece of the chart inside your own chart. You are not just a Leo. You could be a Virgo as well, too. And you may say, oh, I hate Virgos and things of that nature. I may hate this sign. I may hate that sign. Remember what I just told you. The way that you experience or pop into this world yourself with your own traits and qualities, you're going to have naturally people or signs that you're not going to resonate with. Not every sign resonates with every other sign. But you got to understand, too, if you don't fully know your chart, you may have that sign inside your own birth chart. Everybody has Leo. Everybody has Aquarius. Everybody has Virgo. Everybody has Taurus. Taurus is the throat. Everybody I know has a throat. Aries is a head. Everybody I know has a face and a head area. So you got to understand too that these signs aren't just personality traits. They apply to your body as well. They apply to your family members. They apply to your work situations. They apply to your how you think, how you speak. It applies to your emotional state. It applies to your career. It applies to your dreams. The chart is this multifaceted tool that lets you see and really come to understand the reality, this experience that we are all having, that we're all joined in together more clearly. It lets you see life for what it truly is and how to really move in it. This is what people need to come to understand and people need to come to see too. The thing about fire signs are this: they have a natural ability to make themselves happy. Fire signs, when you talk about it, whether you're Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, especially Sagittarius, they have a natural ability to make themselves happy. Leos have a natural ability to love. Aries have a natural ability to do things for themselves, right? But that's the thing about fire signs too. Sometimes they can be too hot. Sometimes they could be too boisterous, too bodacious. Sometimes they can do too much for themselves. And they end up burning people in the process or burning themselves in the process too, because they go so quickly, they go so fast, but they get everything done. Earth signs are not like fire signs. Earth signs are more practical. Earth signs are going to be the ones that you rely on more. If you're talking about Taurus, you're talking about Virgo, you're talking about Capricorn. These are going to be the signs that you rely on more. Everything that you could want out of life, the materialistic things in those regards, pleasure clothes, a stable home, a good working person. These are going to be all things that are earth signs. But the earth signs take time. They're slow in their things. That's why when they say Taurus can be stubborn, they can be, because it takes time to gain those particular things, gain those energies to manifest with that. Now you go to the air signs. The air signs are the most friendly signs you can meet. They're politicians. They're the people who keep the peace. They're the intellectuals of the world. The air signs, whether you're a Gemini, you're a Libra, or you're an Aquarius. These are going to be the type of people who are the geniuses, the intellects. They're great at relationships, forming partnerships with other people, putting things together, right? The air signs are going to be great for this particular aspect. And then finally, you're going to have the water signs. The water signs are the ones who care for you. They have the most spiritual inclination. They have the ability to sense, feel scenarios, bring, the subtle things, the subtleties in life that most people don't know how to talk about. Or you can't, or the parts of your life that you cannot express in words that you must feel. The water signs are going to be key for that. They're going to be the nurturers. They're going to be the passionate ones. They're going to be the spiritual ones. They're going to be the healers, the doctors, the ones who are going to bring you the medicine, the aid, the herb, the one who understand the more spiritual, unseen aspect of life, the emotional state and how it represents in your place. Everybody has the role that they play. Everybody has a role that they play. And remember, most people only know their sun sign. I encourage you to go, look up your entire chart, because you may realize you have a lot more water energy in your chart, even though you're an air sign. You may realize you have a lot more fire energy in your chart, even though you're an earth sign. You may realize you have a lot more water energy in your chart too, even if you're going to be a fire sign. There's so many different combinations to make up who you are, because you're not one faceted. You're not, if you're a Sagittarius, you're not happy every single second of your life. That's not how life works. If you're going to be an Aries, you're not mad every single day for whatever reason. You are happy sometimes, you're sad sometimes. Remember, you're still a human. You're trying to make the astrology chart apply to you. You're trying to make it apply to your life correctly. It's not just the second that you hear your sun sign or your star sign, everything about you or else about you gets thrown out the window. No. It's supposed to be a tool to help you understand the life that you currently live and do well forward and about it. Coming off that too, the understanding, the understanding that humans have for one another. Because I truly know at one point in time, astrology was so popular, people had to learn it in schools. You couldn't be an astrologer unless you went to college, until you understood astronomy. It's such an important tool and aspect, because it's that you come to know yourself. You come to know yourself and know the world and people around you. That's how astrology is going to end up working. Now, what do people need to know about themselves, right? It's going to be the concept of as above, so below. Everything that's happening in the heavens above, in the higher plane, when everybody tells you to think positive, raise your vibration, move up in the world, don't keep staying where you are. You got to keep moving forward. That's all going to point towards the stars, the heavens, what is above you, right? And it's a reflection of what's happening up there that's going to affect you here physically in the person too. I'm not going to get too 100% into how it affects society as a whole. But you got to realize too, everything that happens in life is correlated. We're all connected. What happens on the societal level, to the people, to the government, to the foundations, to the companies, are affected by the stars. But you and me individually too. are affected by in our family lives, in our careers, in our relationships, we can be able to see what indications or what situations we're going to end up running into in our lifetimes and how to deal with them. Because we got to talk about it too. We are humans. Humans are capable of doing a lot of good in the world, a lot of good in the world. But we have our shortcomings as well too. Now, how do we possibly deal with those potential shortcomings and come to realize they're not shortcomings at all? They're not shortcomings at all. Because if you come to study any historical book, you come to study any piece of literature, anything that it's supposed to be a higher level talk. You study the work of a prophet, of a god, whatever you want to call it. It all relates back to astrology in a particular way. It talks about how humans have the ability to do good and evil. We have the ability to do both good and evil. And humans have shortcomings. We are not 100% perfect. We don't get everything right on the exact first try. For example, when you're a baby and you're just learning how to walk, a baby doesn't sit there and say, I fell down on the ground for the 50th time. Let me stop walking. No, we are humans and we are beautiful because even though we go through failure, even though we may fail 5, 10, 15, 100, 500, 1,000 times, we're going to continuously keep going after what we want until we get it, until we're able to manifest it in a way that works for us. That is the beauty of humans. People get caught up too in this modern day society to think, you know, some of the shortcomings people can have is they keep comparing themselves to one another. They keep comparing themselves or they keep putting themselves short. It's either they're comparing themselves to somebody else and being like, look at his life compared to mine. Look at her life compared to mine. It's so much better when it's not. Remember, everybody, every sign, right, has their strengths and every sign has their weaknesses. Or they compare themselves or they put themselves short. They always tell themselves, oh, I could go to the gym, but I'm too lazy. Oh, I could, start this business or something of that nature and intend to, but I can't because, I'm busy right now. We sell ourselves short. We can tend to get into this mindset of selling ourselves short on the things that we can and cannot do. This affects me too. As the more I've come to read the chart and understand polarities and different modalities and different ways that humans interact on a micro socio-economic scale, it comes to the realization for me that when I speak on these things, it helps me to understand that we have the ability and process to manifest anything we want into reality. You can manifest anything that you honestly want. You just have to know how to do it properly. Because you'll come to see too in your own personal life. If you lived on this earth for about 20 to almost 30 years, you've come to see that there's a certain pattern that your life is going to continue to follow. You're going to run into similar people in a similar situation and similar places in time. If you go from job to job, you're going to realize every time you go to a different job, there's going to be this similar type of person. It's going to be a similar type of work field, and it's going to be similar type of BS that you go through on a regular daily basis. If you go from relationship to relationship, same thing. You always get with a similar type of person. You meet them in a similar type of place, and you meet them, and they have the similar traits or personalities that the last person had, right? This is what people call being in your loop, because time isn't linear. Time is in a straight line. It doesn't go from when you were born to your middle life to when you finally go and then beyond that. No, time is secular. Time is a circle. Things repeat on themselves. There are patterns that we follow. Time, the sun rises, the sun sets, and the sun rises again. Everything in this universe that you can think about that we are living is a circle. There are patterns to everything that we do, right? And once you come to understand your own pattern in your own life, where you realize, hey, I've done this before. I've done this before. Once you've come to realize a pattern that you're in, now you can break it. Now you can come to break it, because there's two type of patterns you're going to be running into: patterns that are not going to benefit you and patterns that are going to benefit you. Certain things that you do, you don't want to stop because they're actually going well for you. If you have a routine and you get up every day, you know what I'm saying? You brush your teeth, you take a shower, you tie your shoes, you get ready to go to work, you watch your favorite job, and you enjoy what you do, you're not going to break that pattern because it works for you properly. That particular pattern in the way the universe plays out will work for you properly. But there are other particular patterns too that may not play out in your particular favor. Certain energies may come about for you to understand, oh, why this particular relationship I'm in, why is it failing me? Why is this particular job that I'm in, why is it not paying me the amount of money that I want? You got to understand the timeline that you're living in, and you got to understand you can break that said timeline. Once you first realize that you're in a timeline, you're in that time loop, you're in that matrix that you're running, you could decide finally when you get to that same point that you always started off. You could decide to go left, do the same thing that you've always been doing and get the same result again, or go right and break the pattern finally. Everybody, even me included, I've come to realize too that certain times when I do certain things in my pattern in life, it will get me the same exact result that I'm not happy with. That brings me the same level of happiness that I've always had. But there's a fear, right? There's a fear, Pisces, there's a fear, 12th house, there's a fear, Neptune, that if you break the pattern, you don't know what's going to be at the other side. That's the trick. It's an illusion. It's not real. You already know your patterns in life. You already know when you follow this timeline of events that always happen that throw you into the same scenario. This is the universe really putting you in those situations because of your chart and your alignment. And your alignment will never break, but you can change your alignment of your pattern to play better in your favor every single time. To that critical point, and everybody in here knows exactly what that is for them personally, where you get to that same exact point where you realize, oh no, this is about to happen again. Once you get particularly there, go right this time. Go down the path that you haven't tried before. Try, for example, if you always get to that point where you're about to get to a fight with a potential partner, and they always say something that gets you mad and you respond back and then a fight breaks out. Try not responding this time. Try not to respond this time. If you get into a situation at work where your boss always tries to tell you what to do, and then you always end up giving in and doing it, and you realize that your other coworkers are not getting pushed on the same way you are, try speaking up this particular time. You're not gonna lose your job. You're not gonna lose your job. You're not gonna lose a relationship because you know exactly what happens in your pattern. You've been through this before. That's what a pattern is. You've been through this before. You know exactly what's going to happen if you do the same thing that you've been doing over and over again. So the only way to break that pattern is to do something else. Einstein said it himself. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's what they call running the rat race. That's what they call living in a matrix. Everybody's living in their own matrix. You cannot escape the matrix. Everybody's living in their own matrix. It's just that some people have made their matrix better than others. Some people have made their patterns in life a lot more positive, forward, upward moving, while some people feel like they're stuck in the same routine. They want to do a little bit better, but they can't. They end up doing a little bit worse, but they can't go even further down. They're stuck in the same loop when everybody wants to go up. Astrologically, too. Astrologically, too, you can come to see that if you're a fire sign and you're talking about your career, fire signs, when it comes to your career, you got to be more serious. You got to be more practical. You got to put your foot down more. You got to be willing to take time when it comes to your careers, fire signs. You got to take more time if you want to get things done, whether you're an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. You have to take that time. You have to know your value. You got to put in that work, and you need to have the ability to just to stay it out. If you're going to be a fire sign, if you're going to be an earth sign, right? If it comes to your career, and then we're going to break down relationships, family life, and then everything having to do with yourself after that. If you're coming to being an air sign, if you're going to be an air sign, right? Gemini, Aquarius, no, an earth sign. Let me do earth signs. If you're going to be a Taurus, you're going to be a Virgo, or you're going to be a Capricorn. When it comes to your career, y'all got to be more communicative. You got to be able to rely on people more. You got to be able to make more connections. You got to be able to use your mind more, be more intelligent. You got to be more intelligent when you do things. You have to be able to be more social, allow partnerships to be formed with people. And you got to be able to do things for humanity. You got to be able to step away from yourself and your own personal values and do things for the collective. Allow yourself, allow friends, allow acquaintances to help you out and get things done. If you're going to be an air sign, Air signs, when it comes towards you, air signs, you got to really realize you got to be more emotional. You're able to make connections, but they're not deep enough in your career space. If you want to really break that loop, you got to be able to do something deeper. Tap into your emotional side. Be able to be a healer. You got to be able to do something for other people. Karma is real. Energy is real. People can feel your energy, even though they may not say it to your face. They can feel your energy. And if your energy is off, and if your energy is off, if you're moving in a particular way that people are not agreeing with, air signs, they're not going to mess with you in your workspace, in your career. Coming off that too. Finally, if you're a water signs, you got to be more fiery. Water signs, when it comes to your career, you got to be more fiery. You got to be on go. You got to be on go mode. Do things for yourself. Do things that make you happy. Do things that you love. You got to be more creative. All of you water signs in your career space, you got to move, move, move. You got to go, 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 go. This is how you're going to affect your career space and get it moving, get it popping the way that you particularly want. That's what I'm saying. Once you understand your chart, and you understand that you are not just your sun sign, and even if you're just talking about your sun sign, if you understand your sun sign and inside of the 12 zodiacs, so inside of this 12 zodiac signs, it allows you to better represent, allows you to better affect what outcome you're going to get, what outcomes you're going to need, what outcomes you're going to see to properly do things for you. Coming off that too, let's say if you want to affect your relationship life. No, let's go to your home life, your family. If you want to deal with your family situation, maybe your family situation is not up to par. If you're a fire sign, you got to be more caring with your family members. You got to be more caring. You have to be able to be more emotional. You got to be able to be more deep with them. Allow yourself, fire signs, to be more emotional, caring, or be a healer for them. Be a healer. Allow yourself to get more passionate. Don't fall into jealousy. Don't fall into the hate. Don't fall into the anger. Don't fall into that. Remember, if you have bad patterns in your life and you always get to that critical point and you're a fire sign, stop doing the thing that breeds hate and jealousy. You got to let it go. You got to let that person get one over on you. You got to be able to control that emotion. And you got to say words like, I feel this way. Now you caused this to me. You have to be able to express yourself in a way that energetically aligns with the energies that your sign is going to portray to you. That's why it is most important to know thyself. If you're going to be an earth signs, you got to understand too. When it comes towards your family situation, earth signs, you need to be more fiery. You need to be more fiery. When it comes towards your family, if you really want to lead your family, you got to do things that you love. You got to do things for yourself. You got to be able to be happy in your home life, in your home situation. If you're not happy, you're an earth sign, you're doing something wrong. You shouldn't be your family members to make them happy. The more happy you make yourself at home, the more positive you are at home, the more creative you allow yourself to be, loving in your home life, in your home space, the more and more comfortable it's going to allow you to be, the more comfortable your family's going to be with you. Do what you got to do for yourself. Do not ever try to hide yourself. That's going to work well for you and your family life, to bring the house and home together. Bring it back together. Coming off that too. If you're going to be an air sign, right? When it comes towards your family life, your family situation, you got Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. You got to be more practical. You got to be more practical in the things that you do. Air signs, when it comes to your home life and family, you got to take the time. You got to be the provider for your families. You got to be the person who's able to put in the work for your family. You got to be able to be the responsible one, air signs, because you have all this communication and relationship skills and this intelligence. The people who are going to need you to provide for them the most is going to be your families. It's going to be your family situations, right? So whether you're Gemini, Aquarius, or you're going to be a Libra, this is all going to apply to you. Y'all need to be more of the type that cares more, that provides more, that holds the roof, the foundations of the home together. If there's ever a fight that breaks out in the family, y'all got to be the mediators. Y'all got to be responsible for the things that go down, because y'all can do it. And this is not going to be a pretty message for the air signs, but it's true. It's particularly true to get it done. And finally, the water signs. If you're a water sign, right? When it comes to your home life, you got to be more social. You got to be a lot more social in the home. You have to be a lot more caring in terms of being able to communicate, make friends with your family members, make friends in your emotional state too, because everything I'm saying also applies to your emotions and how you're going to energetically play it out in a particular way or fashion. The alignments of the energies in the skies of the stars at a particular time will tell you this. They will tell you that when it comes towards your natural ability to say or do things in a particular way that come off as caring, intellectually thought of, more humanitarian, all of the, and it goes to point towards very relationship, partnership oriented in your family life, in your home life, in these natures or sectors that are pointing towards your upbringing. These are going to be the key things that are going to play out, that are going to make you, that is going to make you or break you when it comes to your home life and family situations, right? So I'll give you a breakdown too, because your home life is going to be, if you're a female and you're watching this, this is how you're going to be able to take care of your children better, deal with your in-laws better, deal with all sorts of family that you currently live out in your home currently and getting it done. If you're a male, this is how you're going to be able to take care of your woman. This is how you're going to be able to take care of the kids. This is how you're going to be able to. You got to know your star sign, know your sun sign. And if that's all you know, and you know a little bit more about your chart, these are going to be the simple key breakdowns that I'm giving you to be able to figure out what you need to do and fix these areas of your life. So we talked about the career, we talked about the home. Let's go directly to relationships now, right? Fire signs, fire signs. You got to be able to be more fair in your relationships. You got to be more fair. You got to be able to be detached at points in time, and you got to be very talkative, communicative, intelligent in your relationships, right? It's very easy for you fire signs to be able to do things for yourself, but sometimes in a relationship, you need to allow, you need to be more talkative. Allow your intellect to show. Be more communicative with your partner, because they're going to have something that they want to say to you, and you have to be able to allow them to say it back if you want it to go as smoothly as you possibly can. Smoothly as you possibly can. Allow yourself to be detached at times. Sometimes your partner can want the world from you, and you can't give them the world. Sometimes you have to take the step back, detach a little bit. Let them figure it out on their own and watch how they come back to you in a more collective or resonating way. Relationships are a push and pull dynamic, and you must know when to take and when to give, and when to kill, because there's always two people in that relationship that are going to make the partnership work out in the way that you potentially want it to play out. Going into that, anybody wants to drop their sun sign, their star sign in the chat and allow me to know, or break down what your particular chart would be, you can let me know, and I'm going to break it down for you in any area in your life you want to particularly deal with. Next, we're going to go to the earth signs. The particular earth signs that I'm talking about is going to be Taurus, Virgo, Gemini. Your partners are going to be, you have to realize you have to be more caring. Allow yourself to be more emotional with your partners. Your partners are going to be the emotional ones. You got to be more emotional with them. You got to be able to feel the situation out more. You must have to be able to put your belief or trust in your partner that they're going to have your back and you're going to have their back. Earth signs. You're the practical one. You're the one who always brings about the provisions to the family and situations. You need a shoulder to cry on. That's going to be your partner. If there's anyone else in your life that is supposed to be the one that you're allowed to have your passionate situations with, you're able to be to handle. If it is not your partner, who else would it be? If it's not your partner, who else are you going to go to or run to do that for you, earth signs? These are what the energies are here for, to help you understand when it comes towards that, right? When it comes towards that, they're going to be the healers. You have to be more of a healer yourself too. Sometimes when your partner is wounded emotionally, physically, mentally, you have to be the one who has to stay by them and put down the healing, put down the nurturing, put down that belief into their core. You have to fill them with that energy that you're able to provide. Air signs, air signs, right? You're going to be a Gemini, you're going to be a Libra, you're going to be Aquarius. How do you deal with your relationship factors, you may wonder? Well, I'm going to tell you, you got to be more fiery. You got to be more go. You have to be more action oriented. Air signs, you love to do things for other people. You love to communicate, link, interact with other people. But when it comes to your closest partnership, when it comes to your closest relationship, you have to come to understand this. In your closest partnership, in your closest relationship, you need to do it for yourself. You need to be there for yourself. You must be able to be with a partner that allows you to be yourself. Be happy with yourself. Be as creative as you can possibly be. Be as creative as you can possibly be, because you need to come to understand this, air signs. You are naturally, air signs, you are naturally people who can form relationships, make friends, talk to people. You are naturally people who can do things for humanity, humanitarian. So the one time in your life where you actually have a regular relationship or partnership, that is going to be the one time in your life that you are allowed to be yourself. You are allowed to do things for yourself. You are allowed to be happy for yourself. And your partner will be 100% with you because you allow yourself to do that for yourself, in that nature and in that regard, in that respect. So be on goal mode when it comes to that. And finally, water signs. Water signs. When it comes to your partners, you got to be practical. You got to hold them down. You're going to be the ones that really puts in the work for your partner. You got to be able to work for them, provide for them, be the one that they have there in need, because they are your shoulder to cry on. They're going to be the ones who are going to take your emotional situations, take your deepest concerns, take your deepest needs and desires and get it met. So you got to be able to understand, you got to be able to provide back to them. You got to be there and be their foundation, their rock. If hard times ever fall down upon them, or if they need a nice piece of clothing, they need to be comforted, they need to be satisfied, they need food, they need anything that you can provide for them in the physical sense, in this physical 3D world and environment that we're living in. House, home, shelter, work, provision. These are going to be all in this physical realm. These are going to be the things that they need from you. And this is how you're going to make them stronger, and they're going to make you stronger, especially in the relationship aspect. Everybody needs to understand this, right? Depending on your star sign, your sun sign, your ascendant, your moon sign, your Venus sign, all of the different placements in your chart is going to point towards what do you need out of this life, and what are you here to give out of this life as well too. When people say that they are lost in their path, they don't know their purpose, or they don't know what to do next, that's because they don't know their chart. Your chart will literally lay out the map of your destiny. It's like a map of your own life, of your own journey, of your own destiny. And if you look at that map and you put it up to the sky and you can see the light and reflection coming from it, it's going to allow you to see, okay, this is where I am right now. This is what I have to deal with. And this is where I can get to next. Because Leos can be ego people, people who are too much in their ego. But Leos are also loving people. Taurus can be people that are stubborn, right? But Taurus can also be people who are high in their values. They really know how to value themselves and value other people. Cancers can be people that are very, very, very crybaby-ish, right? But they're also some of the most caring people that you will ever meet. Every sign in a particular chart are going to have two dichotomies, two aspects to them, a light side and a dark side, a good thing and a bad thing. And you need to understand, mostly when you start out as a child, you're going to naturally have the bad traits. But as you grow older and you do things and you develop as a person, you grow more into your sign. You grow more into the qualities or facets that makes or breaks a true and good human. And you will naturally transfer over to the light, to the positive qualities or aspects of the particular sign that you are. You will naturally come over to that side. Don't ever think that one particular sign is just all bad. You may quote unquote hate this particular sign, or you may quote unquote have a bad relationship with people in this life that have this sign for you. But knowing over time, you will run into new people that also have that sign. And when they have that sign too, they'll also do good by you. They can also do good for you. You may think to yourself, an Aquarius, all Aquariuses are weird, or they're too unconventional. Aquarius are some of the most genius people you will ever meet. Have the best information, the best knowledge to give you. You may talk about Geminis. Geminis are two-faced. But Geminis are some of the most intelligent signs out there that can really communicate to the best of their abilities. Every sign has their strengths and their weaknesses, because you have to understand, we are all humans living out in energies. We have a physical body, we have a physical form, and we understand there are light. We understand there's light, there's frequency, There's air, there's elements, particles, molecules, there's spirit, all of these things that we can't see with our eyes, that we cannot see with our eyes, but we understand and know that are there. And sometimes they play to our favor and sometimes they're not. And when they do play to our favor, we come to understand this. That is what you would call a Jupiter motion, when things are beneficial in your way. But not everything that is beneficial for you right now is going to be beneficial in the future. Right now, you may eat that favorite food of yours, but 10, 20 years down the line, you may not be able to eat that food anymore. Things can change in your chart too. Things can change in your chart too, for a fact. Your life can go, because you have to understand, life is a wave, life is a roller coaster. Life is not only a circle, time is not only a circle that is circular like this, but it's also a wave that goes up and down. So it actually looks like this. Life is moving in a wave, but it's also moving in a circle. It's a very squiggly circle. That's what life is. So sometimes you're going to have your highs in life where you experience all the best qualities, and sometimes you're going to have your lows in life. But every low, because you have to understand this. If you're going through any problems right now in life, you must understand after every low will come a new high. And at the same time, you must understand too, if you're riding the coattails of a high moment in your life, every high will come after a new low. But what you can do is this. You can make it so that your life goes from a roller coaster that goes up and down on a flat line, right? And you can turn it into a staircase. You can turn your life into a staircase. You can break the patterns. Can you name Austin Montgomery? Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Can you name something long, green, and smells like bacon? Um, No, I can't. Please, please, inform me what it is. But going off that, you can really turn your life into a staircase in the way that you move, in the way that you do things in a particular way or fashion. For example, Kermit the Frog's finger. Okay, that was a good one. If you're building and forming your life, right? If you're building and forming your life, you're trying to break the bad patterns and habits that are happening in the world around you. This is how you're going to particularly do it, right? If life is going to be a roller coaster, why can't the roller coaster go like this? Why can't it slowly but surely go up? So even when you fall down, you're higher than you were before. Even when you're falling down in the roller coaster, you're still not touching the ground. You still are going up and up and up and up and up and up. This is where everybody wants to be. It's not about going through life and not facing problems, because everything in life will have its good times and its bad times. Remember, everything is energy, positive and negative, masculine and feminine, in the zodiac and the signs, right? But most people have their life and it goes like this. It's neutral, it's stale. You get a little bit high, you reach the peak, you go back down. You get a little bit high, you reach the peak, you go back down. And it's stale, it's on a flat line or surface. When in all reality, most people want to get their chart or get their life to do this. You want to be able to slowly but surely grow over time, grow over time, grow over time. That's earth sign qualities and traits. The more time you put into doing something, the more time you put into learning a skill, the more time you learn into doing something that may be hard in the moment, but possible in the future, is going to help you, navigate you, and push you in the direction that you will want to go. That is how the energies, that is how frequencies, that is how the star signs, how your sun sign is going to play out in a tropical sense. So I went over and I covered with y'all. How do you naturally do it? How do you naturally live these traits? How do you naturally live these qualities out? How do you see your chart, see things manifest in your chart, see the people manifest in your chart? How to deal with your relationships? How to deal with your career? How to deal with your family life? Finally, if you're having any problems, and again, you can come for a free reading. Right? You can click the link in my bio. It should be able to take you to the page where you can come for a free reading, because I am doing free readings right now on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Come for a free reading, click the link in the bio of my YouTube page, and you can get a free reading by me, and I'll be able to read your chart for you right now. and let you know what's going on in detail. But finally, the thing I'm going to talk about real quick, how do you deal with yourself? Maybe the problem isn't your relationships. Maybe the problem isn't your career. Maybe the problem isn't your family life. Maybe it's yourself. How do you deal with yourself? How do you achieve happiness? All of these fleeting questions that people want you to know. If you're a fire sign, right? If you're an Aries, do things for yourself. If you're a Leo, allow yourself to be as loving as you possibly can. If you're Sagittarius, do what naturally makes you happy. Do what naturally makes you happy. If you're a Taurus, you have to value yourself. You have to value yourself. If you're a Virgo, right, for the earth sign, if you're a Virgo, you really have to allow yourself. You have to build habits, work on yourself. Continuously work on yourself, build yourself up. And if you're a Capricorn, allow yourself to accomplish everything in your life that you need to accomplish. Work on your accomplishments. Work on your accomplishments. And they'll play out for you the way that you want them and have them to do. Right? The way that you want them and have them to do. If you're going to be an air sign, right? If you're a Gemini, communicate as much as you can. Allow yourself to be as intelligent as you can. Read as many books as you can. Talk to as many people as you can. This is going to be things that you can actually do for yourself. Things you can actually do for yourself. If you're going to be a Libra, form as many relationships as you can, but put yourself first in those relationships. Not everything has to be a romantic relationship. You can form a work relationship, partner relationship, business relationship, but maybe remember to always put yourself first and allow yourself to be first in those relationships that you're in. And finally, you're going to have Aquarius, right? For the air signs, Aquarius, allow yourself to be as unique as you possibly can be. Do not anybody stifle your thought, your train of thought, or the way that you move, because it's just how you do your things is you. You are a very unique, genius person. Allow your genius to shine. Allow your uniqueness to take control and center of your life. Now we're going to the water signs. If you're a Cancer, be as caring and nurturing as you possibly can be to yourself. Care for yourself. You're amazing at having abilities to care for others, but do you really take time to care for yourself? Scorpios, you are a very transformative person. You can transform your life. Use that transformation. Transform yourself, Scorpio. Transform yourself. Persuade yourself to do things that you have to do. Talk yourself into. Persuade yourself. Put things in your own life that will help you out as best as you possibly can. As best as you possibly can. And finally, Pisces. And this one I love about Pisces. You must believe in yourself. Believe in yourselves. The more you believe in yourselves, things will come true and possibly to work in your favor in your nature. These are how the energies in the charts going to play out for each and every sign. For each and every single sign. So don't ever doubt or underestimate yourself when it comes to your potential or your possibilities, and understanding that the chart will play out in your favor if you make it in the moment. Even though the universe as we know it, we can perceive it to be predestined, we are forever living in the moment and cannot perceive what happens next until it happens next. As much as we can make predictions about what is going to happen in the future, we will never be able to say it will fully come true or to what extent it did come true until we get to that point. You cannot force Saturn to move into Pisces faster. You cannot force the sun sign to move into Aries faster. We must wait over time for these things to come about, for us to truly be able to see, did it actually play out in our favor? So in the moment that we are creating and ever creating right here, right now, build, create, believe, manifest, generate the life that you want to live. The life that you truly and utterly want to live. Because you can. I know you can. I believe you can. I say you can. Therefore you can. And so can I. And so can I. Because these talks are as much as for y'all as they are for me. I hope y'all enjoyed. This was a great talk. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.